The Toronto Maple Leafs are set to test a long-standing query in the 2023-24 season. For years, the Toronto Maple Leafs adhered to a stars and scrubs strategy when allocating their designated salary cap funds, and even with that approach, they consistently ranked among the NHL's deepest rosters. However, now that they are far from that model, it will be intriguing to observe whether having 4 star players alone is sufficient to position them as contenders. I believe it will be, but their depth is woeful. Their lower 6 forwards transitioned from featuring Ryan O'Reilly, Noah Acciari, and Matthew Knies, forming a genuinely formidable third line, to dressing 6 substitute players. Their defensive lineup is in even worse shape. Hence, if the Leafs perform well this season, it will definitively establish that 4 star players are ample for competition, and that depth is an unnecessary extravagance, as the current composition of this team lacks it. The Toronto Maple Leafs defense and bottom 6 lack playoff caliber. Star power surpasses depth. This assertion holds true at a professional level, which is why the Leafs are still projected to be contenders this year. Nevertheless, their defensive lineup lacks both star power and depth. It lacks physicality and skews towards an older demographic. TJ Brodie is 33. Any decline on his part could spell trouble for the Leafs. Morgan Rielly, at 28, is a reliable player with a known skill set, but he possesses limited upside and is no longer a truly elite player. Timothy Liljegren posts impressive statistics, but the coach evidently lacks confidence in him. Judging by his salary and the consensus among those covering the team, he is likely to play behind John Klingberg. This stance seems quite absurd and won't hold for long, as it will become evident to everyone that Liljegren is superior. In fact, it's highly plausible that Liljegren could evolve into the Leafs' best defenseman. However, there is an equal chance that he might be squandered. After Rielly, Brodie, and Liljegren, all of whom are at least competent, the Leafs' defensive roster becomes uncertain. This uncertainty might even exist prior, given Brodie's lackluster performance in the playoffs, despite respectable statistics. It's worth noting that among their 3 solid defenders, their combined physical presence is minimal, if at all present. In the playoffs of the previous year, McCabe was outscored 11-5. Gio, 11-4. Both had an expected goals rating below 50%. McCabe is likely a skilled player, and he comes at a reasonable cost, but it's undeniable that his recent performance has been subpar. Regardless, John Klingberg held a 38% ex-goals rating with Anaheim, which he managed to improve to 43% with Minnesota, all stats from naturalstattrick.com. Anyone believing he will be anything other than a significant liability is deluding themselves. Regarding the bottom 6 forwards, it's equally dire. Jarnkrok is passable, yet Max Domi, David Kampf, Sam Lafferty, Ryan Reeves, and Dylan Gambrell are low-potential substitute players who are all earning more than they should, except Gambrell. One word aptly characterizes the projected Leafs bottom 6: pitiful.